Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Puzzle Quest 3 video, I'm going to take a look at Update 2.3 and go over the main benefits from that. I've just done a really nice Paladin build as well. My gear is only level 566, but I'm able to defeat enemies much higher than me with this build, so I'll be showing that in a future video. So be sure to bash that like and subscribe button if you want to see that. I'm going to get into these videos a bit more now. I'm quite enjoying this game now. I've got into it a bit more. Right, the new season, Watchers in the Stars, begins 3rd of October. Chapter 2 unlocks 17th of October. And Chapter 3 unlocks 31st of October, Halloween. Hard mode unlocks 13th of November. Elite mode unlocks 20th of November. And then the season ends on the 27th of November. Now, there is a new set of items available, the Queen set. This is really cool, quite a cool looking set if you should find them. I actually like the look of these a lot. First up, we have the Queen Scimitar, the weapon. Main benefit is if the enemy is blind, add 9 to 18% to this weapon's elemental damage bonus. There's a lot of these actually mix really well. You'll notice this when you play the game. The more parts of a set you get, the actually better they get, which is a really nice thing. Next one is the Queen Protector. This is the shield. When receiving damage, 10 to 25% chance to gain Reflect. After the damage is applied, Reflect deals the next received damage back at the attacker, but still receive the damage. So that's actually pretty effective. It's like, you do damage to me, mate, I'll do damage to you. Next up, we have the Queen Leggings. If the enemy is blind, deal 10 to 25% extra damage to armor and resistance. At the start of a turn, if I'm blind, gain 5 to 8% armor. That is the Queen Chest. The boots that go with this set, when matching 10 to 7 yellow gems, blind the enemy for 2 turns, and blind characters deal half combat damage, which is very effective. They're just basically blind. They're just throwing their weapon around, hoping to get a good hit, and if they do get a good hit, it's only doing half damage. Next up, we have the Queen Binding. This is the belt thing. When matching yellow gems, there's a 20 to 35% chance to gain 5% power and double the power gain if the enemy is blind. And if you get the whole set, you get all the items. If you get 2 pieces of the set, when applying blind on the enemy, heal for 2% of your max health and gain 5 to 30% all elemental damage reduction if facing season 2.3 enemies. If you get 4 pieces of this set, when dealing light damage, you heal for 2% of the damage done and gain 5 to 30% melee and missile damage reduction if facing season 2.3 enemies. And if you get all the pieces of the set, you increase the effectiveness of blind by 66%. That is huge. And again, blind characters deal half combat damage, so really cool. As well as that, gain 5 to 30% power if facing season 2.3 enemies. There's a new legendary item, the Watcher's Pauldrons. They're quite cool looking, look like sort of dragon things that go on your shoulder. Only available in the cash items in the season shop, and the item will drop at a legendary rarity. When healing life, also heal armor and resistance for 2 to 5% of the amount healed. There's a bunch of new spells. The first one is Soul of the Scales. Uses 120 yellow mana. If I have more health than the enemy, deal 1% light damage. Otherwise, heal for 10 to 20% maximum life. So that's not too bad. Next one is Rage of the Ram. 105 red mana. Deal 1 times fire damage and have a 1 to 6% chance to stun the enemy. So that initial stun chance is actually really low. Next up is Brawn of the Bull. This is a purple mana spell, uses 135 mana. Heal for 0.75 times armor and resistance and 10 to 35% chance to gain a barrier. Barrier reduces the next received damage by 50%. And the last new spell to hunt down is Flow of the Fish. 95 mana cost, and convert 3 to 8 green gems to blue and have a 20 to 75% chance to cleanse to status effects. So only really effective if you need cleansing, and also 3 to 8 is a bit random. I'd rather if it was like 5 to 8 or something, changing green to blue. That way you can actually take a look at the board and see if it's got a better chance of working for you or not. But anyway, it's there, and if you want to use it in your builds, obviously it may be effective. New minions, we have a bunch of new minions. Greenie, he's a green genie, so that's how he got his name. Versus spell is Cunning Tainted Wishes, 60 mana, deal 1 times poison damage. If the enemy is already poisoned, explode a random green gem, and poisoned characters take extra damage each turn. Next minion is Elveling. PvP spell Sand Spit, 75% mana cost, deal 1 times light damage, plus 50% if the enemy is blind, and again, blind characters deal half combat damage. Next one is Mini Zealot. Blinding Light, 65 mana cost, deal 1 times light damage and blind the enemy for 4 turns. And the last one is Spikrion. Fiery Pincers, 80 mana cost, deal 1.5 times fire damage. There are some new skins, the Queen Assassins, quite funky. It's a new adventure, Dragon King's Prize. Apparently many of you have been asking about the Weapon of Legend that will complete the legendary set from the 2022-2023 season, and in our new, most ambitious so far adventure, Dragon King's Prize, you'll find out about the history of the legendary Dragon King axe while you chase down your prize. This will be an ultimate difficulty adventure where you will journey to collect 4 legendary flux. Careful as I say that. That will unlock Ragnar's Vault, where the axe has been taken. It includes persistent health and potions, 5 energy per day, and a final reward of the legendary Dragon King axe. Pretty cool. This adventure has only ever had one difficulty, being ultimate, but due to a bug it will display as novice, but the levels themselves and difficulty are still at ultimate difficulty. So don't be fooled by that thing saying novice, because it's not. It's actually really flipping hard. New login rewards calendar. They've added a brand new login rewards calendar, which is pretty neat. Get a new reward each day you log in, but you don't need to actively collect anything. Just logging in is enough, and you just collect the stuff automatically, which is really nice. And also, you do not need to log in on consecutive days. You just count every single day that you log in, and you get that stuff automatically, which is really, really cool. Versus updates. Opponents in Versus will now get the full benefit of their gear abilities, which is cool. They are hoping this provides a more true and interesting experience on fighting a hero. Your opponent's abilities can be previewed before entering battle by checking an opponent's stats before the fight begins, and spell set bonuses are not applied to the opponent, which gives the player a bit of an advantage. Matchmaking updates. They've made a change to how the 3 opponents are chosen. Currently, the options presented are based on your perceived power level, your level, and your points in the tournament. These are intended to present a few different options, not purely based on power. However, these options have understandably brought frustrations amongst the competitive players vying for the top spot of the leaderboards. In order to help alleviate some frustration, they have made the following changes. The 3 opponents' options will now be based on within a 10% plus minus of your perceived strength, greater than plus 10% of your perceived strength, and the highest strength player in your league. Opponents you already have a top score registered against should not appear again as possible opponent options. So in the case of the highest strength player in your league, it should grab the next highest, then the next, etc. So some good changes there, like ongoing Versus development updates. They say thank you to everyone who has been providing us feedback and being patient while we implement these changes. We believe that the changes make for a more interesting gameplay experience, but understand that it can be frustrating, and they're still keeping an eye on all the feedback to help improve the mode going forward. All to do with Versus. But yeah, there's other minor improvements. Owned skins will now be first in the skins list, followed by the unowned skins. Don't know why that sort of thing wouldn't have been standard. And there's a new hero selector pop-up as well. Heroes can now be swapped from the new hero selector pop-up, accessed from the arrow to the left of the hero name and level in the main menu. But you can still access the hero management menu by selecting the hero management button on that pop-up. There's a task menu update. They've added an overview tab to the tasks menu. This menu will show activities close to finish and a summary of your login rewards. And there's a new shop item, 30 Days of Crowns. And that's the main thing. There's little bits and bobs like choose a relic improvement. And there's a whole bunch of bug fixes and gameplay fixes. So apart from that, there's a lot of very worthwhile things. So pretty cool. Enjoying Puzzle Quest 3? If you enjoyed this video, found it useful or helpful, anything like that, be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.